let Amp go back to the same thing. They might. It worked okay for them in the end, but
Honestly,
for
I don't
most of
think
it,
either one was bad, but they definitely do need to, I think, get a better AD carry. I think the AD carry is probably what lacked the most. While Silver in general is not bad, I think, and while Kaisa like was behind, I feel like she just had way more of an impact
yeah, I
in those late game fights because
I
she just shreds way too hard.
I think in terms of what you're expecting maybe out of Gummy, you want either Tristana or I think the Sivir was perfectly fine in terms of trying to keep up in CS because he was really far down in CS and then instantly caught 20 CS up, right? And I think it was pretty decent for them. I think I want to see Nazumi on a more controlling pick like the Rakan because the Braum, he did so well to neutralize those early fights, but all it takes is, one wall that maybe doesn't cover the entire field, right? And then suddenly Nazumi has no more options where if he's on the Rakan, he can set the tempo for himself and try and propel his team into victory like he was doing all split long.
Hmm. Well, standard bans coming out again. Looks like nothing really is changing too much in terms of bans. See the Aurelia and Twitch, Darius, Garen, and I guess the only one that's changing is Azir, which is kind of interesting. I'm surprised that they would still be afraid of the Azir, regardless of the kind of meta it is
I,
right now.
I think it's just because it is a Carcion's best pick, and it can be really annoying, right? He's very potent on it, and we've seen him play it a couple times, and he did it very well. So I think it's one of those things where it's like they're not really afraid of what the rest of Amp can do, right? They know that they don't want to
Yeah.
go up against a Darius or a Garrett because Spoder will just take the game over. And beyond that, maybe you start throwing bans at Nezumi, but he's got a wide enough pool that even that isn't effective. So just take someone off of their best pick, take them that peg or two lower, and see where you can go from there. And it is
And
going to be the Braum.
Rakan is going to Zumi this time.
Yep,
And
they got
we're
the
taking the
Zyrakan
Braum.
combo. And I expect this to go better than game one, dude, because Star Show didn't seem
Oh
that
yeah.
comfortable on the Rakan. Constantly missed all of his engages. Went for the Aftershock, which we were talking about. Definitely not standard for Rakan. So this is going to be pretty interesting because, again, I think Rakan is Nuzumi's best pick. I think closely followed by his Thresh and his Alistar. So this will be setting a pretty good tone for Amp's game style. Well, the Scion going to be grabbed for Sonic here. See what else they grab it with. The LeBlanc and the Aurelia both banned. Amp, if there was a fourth game and 15 popped off in this one, I wouldn't be surprised to just see those mid lane bans growing ever so longer. But he does have a chance to
Yeah.
maybe grab something early here. But it's going to be the Jax that actually did make it through because of the LeBlanc ban. So Prism grabbing himself his favorite jungler.
Yeah, and I'm actually not too sure like how far his pool goes. I believe he does play Syndra, and I think he has played Ari. I'm not entirely sure what else he does go to though for mid lane picks. Here's Gragas. Pretty standard matchup. I believe Jax does still win that though.
It's hard to say because Gragas can gank a lot more. He can gank a lot better, and I feel like in
Well,
general he's got more
in the
utility.
dueling matchup,
Dueling,
should
yeah,
they?
but I don't think that Jax is gonna be able to just duel for free, especially because we have no clue what the solo lanes are besides a Scion. I think there's a
Yeah.
good chance that TPR doesn't end up with lane priority this time around. But
So,
they're just gonna keep throwing bans at Spoder. I wouldn't be surprised to see like a Kled ban next, and just see how far down they can take Spoder on his champion pool.
yeah, especially since like obviously they know their bot lane in the jungle. They're clearly not too afraid of Carcion. Never really being somebody that's been known to carry on the side of Amp. Always played well, but definitely not a carry.
Yeah. And the weird part for me is I'm not too sure why they ended up picking this Scion so early because they've been saving Sonic out for a second rotation. And I think that we haven't seen Scion bans, but I don't think it's one of those picks that you just need, right? I think they should have tried to prioritize that Kai'Sa pick, which only came out from Amp in the second phase. And I'm not going to say, oh, it was a two-trick pony, right? Because he can play other things, but he's so effective on the Twitch and the Kai'Sa that it's definitely sucks to see him relegated down to something like a Caitlyn.
Yeah. And to be honest, like even if it was like something along the lines of maybe like Sonic was just feeling like he was struggling, I feel like he was doing pretty well into the matchups on both in both games versus Spooner. I mean, he played Renekton to what he had to do Renekton
Yeah.
wise, and then he smashed him in game one. So it's not like he was playing terribly.
Yeah, and even so, like if he was feeling just like uncomfortable, that's even less reason to grab a pick for him so early, right? If you're uncomfortable, you want to try and get that counter pick, get a pick after the enemy. But Sion into Poppy, gotta be an interesting matchup. It's a pretty neutral one. Neither laner really wins that hard, so it's gonna be weird not seeing Spoder trying to hard carry, but haven't seen him on the Poppy yet, so it's gonna be pretty interesting. As the Anivia grab for Carcion, that's gonna be a pretty scary pick for himself. And the RA for 15, we were talking about being unsure if he plays it a whole lot. Looks like he must if he's grabbing it here. It's a very strong pick. I'm interested to see if he goes for like the Glacial Augment or maybe a more aggro build. Both pretty decent. We did see the Glacial Augment in Worlds pretty recently, and it did okay. It didn't do too well until there was one big team fight where it actually had just a free ray that went across the entire river and stalled up everything that I believe it was Afrika was trying to do.
Sorry, what were you talking about? I heard something about
Ari's
Glacial.
build choices.
The Glacial Ari. That is very, very annoying.
Yep. It can be pretty scary. And jeez. Well, I'm just gonna
Over under.
since this is
Will
game
it,
point, I'm just gonna say who wins this game, TPR or Amp, because
or do you do? Will it go to game 5?
well, that one we wouldn't be able to know until next game either, right?
Yeah,
Because
can.
it, well, no, because I mean, if it keeps going, then we'd have to go. Will it go to game 5 again? Because it'll be at game 4, right? We're at game 3, so we can't start betting if it's gonna go to game 5 quite yet, right? It's either gonna end
Game
here
5
or it
today.
continues.
Game 5 again today. Will it be game 5? You never know. Looking at the comps, though, honestly, it could go either way. Both sides get fairly tanky. Both sides have what they need to do to win.
Yeah.
Lydia being very annoying, though, with the zone control that she has and the bot lane that they have on the side of Amp, I feel is better than TPR's. So honestly, I feel like it is at least a little bit more Amp favored this time.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I do think just Gragas as a whole is a better pick than Jax is. So if we're just looking at like the power of the comps themselves, I think Amp's comp is better. Jax is Prism's comfortable pick. It did slip through, so we grabbed it. We'll see what he can get done. Traditionally, it's a decent amount, but I think a lot of it also hinders on the kind of build he goes for. Because if he goes for something like the Blood Razor item instead of maybe a Cinderhulk, I could see this being pretty difficult for him if he's not able to get in there and be tanky enough to survive.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a hell of a set. I feel like we deserve at least 30 more viewers for how hype this game is going. Spike2929 is sitting in the Hangout channel if anybody wants to have a viewing party with him. Because this
He seems lonely in there.
he seems a little lonely, but this game is definitely so hype. Probably so far one of the best sets of the tournament. Definitely the best set of playoffs so far. Actually, oh man, that DOV Battlecast set was so good though.
Yeah.
I can't even say that it's the best set of playoffs yet because that one was so good.
Nobody expected DOV to go
No,
5.
right. Nobody expected DOV to come out and look like they could actually take down the third seed. Also, one of the teams that was favored to win the whole bracket. I'm going to be right back. So you keep them busy for next couple seconds here for me.
What if I don't wanna? I want to keep you guys busy. Anybody, what about basketball? Who's excited for the battle season? Anybody's teams start winning, yeah, you're a basketball fan. Basketball season finally starting. I'm pretty excited because my team being the Milwaukee Bucks.
Milwaukee?
Yep.
Well, I'll tell you about Milwaukee.
What about Milwaukee?
I don't know, man. I know absolutely nothing about Milwaukee.
Okay.
Why don't you tell me about Milwaukee?
Very cool city. Currently on
Like,
its road to growth.
Temperature-wise, hip-wise.
Oh, it could be both.
Both? Okay, okay. I feel you. Do they got hot wings?
They do got hot wings.
Are they good hot wings?
They're very good hot wings.
What kind of hot wings are they?
Well, it depends where you go. There's a lot of places. There's a lot of places around here that carry wings. There's bars that carry wings. We have also known as Buffalo Wild Wings, if you're familiar with that place. And then we have quite a other family-owned places. There's also Wingstop. Oh, nice. What are you doing down here? Or up here, wherever you're from. You live in Wisconsin, or / Andy? Obviously, talking to. Yeah, I actually live in Wisconsin, so I live about probably 20 blocks from downtown. Not too far of a drive.
All right, teams have loaded in.
Oh, nice.
We are rolling.
Oh, who'd you go see?
Looks like a pretty aggressive level 1 play from TPR, trying to catch Amp out Amp. Did do a level 1 invade attempt last game.
This one might work.
It might, yeah, they are finding their way around on a spotter. He's in the tri-brush. They're going to see if they can get in. The ward's on. They're already starting to stack up the concussive blows to flash away, but it's not going to do enough. You still get hit up first blood onto Awu.
And that is how you do a late invade.
Yeah, and the best part about that is TPR spent no summoners. They didn't burn a flash. They didn't burn an ignite, right? They just walked in, got the ward in, got the tri-brush gank off.
I'm honestly more surprised, though, that he actually just didn't react at all. Because I feel like he didn't even realize the ward was placed down until after it disappeared. And then he was like, oh, shit. And then just like...
Right.
It's like, oh, wait, now I'm stunned.
Like, gosh dang it, they had vision in here. That is going to be pretty big. It's only a long sword and an extra pot for Awu, but that can always end up being pretty big, especially with Nazumi being on arguably his best pick. Might see a little bit of aggression coming down, so that extra damage, that extra pot might make a decent difference.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm too familiar with who they are, Andy. I'd have to look them up. I was going to say, is he going to finish that? Or is he just going to just let it reset?
Yep.
Yeah, it'll definitely be coming down to with this Caitlyn pick to see if he's able to punish Amp's bot lane for having the low range that they do. Because, like, while Nazumi can, like, jump on Caitlyn, she does still have the annoyance of the net to get out.
Right. Yeah, and the range difference. And one of the biggest things this whole set is every single time Prism has started either on the opposite side of his bot lane or just not going to unleash at all. I'm pretty sure it's actually been just topside every single time, which gives his bot lane the ability to just destroy in that level 1 push, right? Constantly pushing up. They get level 2 first, so much presence from them, and it's really allowing them to be just this aggressive bot lane, get these advantages, and try and shut down Amp's bot lane, which is one of the better bot lanes in the league.
Yeah. Which is one that we never really, I guess, saw come out until towards the end. Because towards the end, like, we didn't really start seeing, like, how good he actually was until the last couple times he actually did get the Twitch, and he popped off on the Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
And then it started getting banned again. But then now it's like, now that he's got the Kaisa finally, after learning another champion, obviously realizing he's probably never going to get Twitch again. Like, you start seeing now he's really good on Kaisa, and it's like, now you must just be a really good AD carry in general, is Bliss kind of getting caught by Virgin, but...
And that's another kind of story of this set. Bliss always invading, 15 always there to find him. He just seems to know every single time where Bliss is. They are tracking him so well, and they aren't even warding this game, and they knew where he was. Just because Prism, he started doing that vertical jungling, right? Well, again, back to that ballistic missile reference. I can post the link again if you want, but they know where Bliss is because they're inside of his jungle, so they know he's not there.
Yeah.
Spoder doing pretty decently on the Poppy. Never mind, he's actually 13 CS down.
Yeah, not sure how that happened. I think somehow he hard shoved the wave without last hitting.
Yeah, I don't know, but Prism does find himself in a little bit of trouble. Spoder's starting to just charge at him, catches him on the Krugs.
Yeah, but he'll be fine. So he was able to still get that entire camp.
Yeah, most of it. I think there's a few small ones left, but...
Yeah, but it just still means that Bliss is wasting his time and going up there. Kind of surprised he didn't just instantly back after they popped the scrying orb.
Yeah.
Because they clearly knew that he was up there and he already cleared the camp, so...
Yeah, and while Jax is down on CS, he still is going to end up with a little bit of a net higher amount as Gummy Bull's just going to get engaged on here, but a nice Blade Color going to be rooting up Awu, but the Ignite is onto him now. Nazumi getting traded back onto...
He would, didn't even care that, he was getting engaged on by Nazumi. He's like, I'm just gonna keep chasing Gummy down because I don't care about you.
Yeah, he's like, oh, hey, there's a Rakan behind me. I guess I might as well just go forward then. No, you can really go whatever you want into this matchup. Glacial Augment Scion is perfectly fine here. Grasp is okay, but because you don't really care about trying to win this matchup, if you go Glacial Augment, it's going to do a lot for you in the team fight, so I agree with the Glacial Augment here. I think it's a great choice. Akarsion taking so much damage. One combo from Ari is just so powerful.
Also, another thing, too, about the Glacial Augment in this matchup, Poppy generally doing at least a little bit more damage early in the trades if she is allowed to trade with you. I feel it is better to just not try to duel her, as long as you're not dueling her by fist fighting and you're dueling her with just using the range of your abilities.
Yeah, and he's still 20 CS up right now, right? Sonic has not popped off at all in this set, in lane at least. He's been a little bit down CS, but never really started inting, but he's just absolutely controlling Spoder right now. The Glacial Augment almost threatening to kill at this point. If he has mana for one more Q and he lands it, that could definitely be death. In fact, he could honestly just flash forward and get a single hit of Q off, but he's not going to go for it. Maybe doesn't know the full damage potential out of the Scion, but still just absolutely destroying Spoderon up here. And Spoderon has been the best top laner in the league and is not comfortable on this pick. He got 4 bans thrown at him. Definitely whittled down on his pool.
Yeah, unfortunately, not being able to first pick the top lane like they have in the last couple of games, giving it away and having to go for this bot lane first pick and then going for the jungle pick so that they didn't have to worry about Bliss getting banned. Ended up hurting Spooter, throwing 3 more bans towards him. So, he is...
Yeah, but here comes the Gragas. He is in the bot side, does not have Predator. He went for the Aftershock, so he's not going to be able to find too much, but Nazumi is able to get in. The net lands, though, and now a TP coming in from Scion. There's nothing to answer from the Poppy, so he's going to try and go in. A flash out from Bliss is going to be good enough, and it's just going to be a trade of a couple of sums. Awu had to burn his, but still
unfortunately, no, Scion will have to walk back, but Poppy does have lane advantage, so they'll have to send Jax up there to try to save that farm.
Yeah, and it's still going to be pretty good, because this is actually just going to give Jax a hell of a lot of farm. It's a pretty big wave up there. I'll go ahead and move the camera up there to see. So Jax is going to be pretty happy about this. They don't lose too much. It's a cannon wave to boot. So he's perfectly fine with this. Might hit level 6 off of it. I'm not sure. He's getting pretty close. But, I mean, still, a really good TP from Sonic just to make sure that nothing could happen from Amp. They definitely had to get out of there, so...
And he also has been, on point with those. I mean, I believe at least out of the last couple fights that have happened when starting them bot, it has always been Sonic that is TP'd first and Spooter to follow.
Yeah, and because Sonic has so much pressure top lane, threatening the solo kills versus Spoder, Spoder had to burn that early teleport, meaning Sonic was the only one that got to answer there. And technically, Akarsion might have been able to, but didn't decide to use his TP, so...
Yeah. I think he only didn't use it, though, also just because his lane was already in a bad enough spot. They probably just said they were going to run, so there was no point in him going over.
Yep. And now 15 looks like he might want to try and find something Rakan's here, though, so I don't know how wise it's going to be. The flash in from Nezumi finds themselves the kill. Karsian going to be on the board pretty early here. See how much he can get done with that Anivia, but Sonic might need to be careful. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. I was just going to say, nice run by Nezumi. Unfortunate for 15 to get caught there, but...
Yeah, and oh my god.
Finally punishing him for
was doing a lot with his Caitlyn. Bliss is topside, but probably not going to be able to find anything.
Out of Cyan. And Cyan does have ult up soon. It's not down or not up yet. So if they were going to try to kill him, it would have had to have been there, but...
Yeah, and this is why I feel like there's almost never a reason to go after Shock Gragas, because he's already fairly tanky. And it's nice for, you know, you get a few more mistakes as Aftershock Gragas, but the ability to actually make things happen are not there compared to what you can get done with Predator. And Spoder forced to use his charge to just disrupt that Q, but it actually gets only a 2-second cooldown when you disrupt it, so shortly back up. He's going to just, again, have lane control, 14 CS up. First Dragon, going to be going over to Prism.
And they had no idea he was doing that, too, despite having a word in the river. I don't know if he blast coned over the pit, but he must have either blast coned or ward hopped.
Yeah, it was probably ward hop because he placed the controller in there to see if there's any vision. So I assume he just ward hopped over. But there is no blast cone, so it really could have been either one. Because I'm pretty sure there's no blast cone. Yeah, there's no blast cone.
There's no blast cone.
Yeah. He probably used that then, because that should have been up.
No. Next dragon being a win, though.
Yeah, not the super aggressive dragons like we've been seeing. You know, the mountains and the Infernals. But Wind is still a really good one. I think it's actually going to help them out quite a bit. I think it's actually the second best dragon in the game right now, if not the best.
Yeah.
You know, Infernal being the other one on the table there.
And that could also just be, too, because of the way the meta is. I mean, just having the ability to roam faster to wherever you're going. I mean, having the Ahri on the team, having Jax on the team, and even the Braum, should he decide to roam, that extra move speed just to get to your lane faster is just going to be that much more painful for the other team.
Right.
They're not going to be able to rotate as fast as they are.
Yeah, and I mean, extra stats is always nice, right? All that free damage is pretty decent, but there is so much just innate power in all the Champions kit right now that it's not like you need an Infernal to get anything done, so the extra movement speed is definitely nice. As He's going to find his way onto Samuel, but he already burned his jump from earlier.
Yeah.
No flash either. He's trying to run away with the quickness, but he's definitely going to be burning down here. Ace in the hole, going to pick it up, if not the Ahri. Which means they're going to get advantage there, and they still have Ace in the hole up because it does reset if it doesn't actually shoot the bullet. So he's going to be able to pressure this tower, possibly even look to kill it.
It does reset if it doesn't go off, if it doesn't sit there for the full charge. But if it sits there for the full charge, even if it doesn't shoot, it'll still take the cooldown. I don't know why.
It's like there's like a really weird amount of time there.
Yeah, it's really buggy on how it reacts.
Yeah,
technically that is how it should be, but
yeah, but that is solo gold going over to the Caitlyn. 11C is up, got herself a kill to boot from that first blood, so in a pretty good spot is now Sonic. Not really sure what happened there, Spoder, but Sonic, again...
Unfortunately, somehow clicking the minion and not getting that trade-off, which kind of unfortunate, but doesn't really mean too much.
When are people going to keep buying target champions only? Never. All you need to do is put it on a mouse button. That way, whenever you go in, you just hold down that mouse button, and you'll be perfectly fine. 15, going to be in a little bit of trouble. Nezumi trying to find his way in, but no flash for that extended engage range.
Yeah, having to burn that earlier on the first kill that they got on him, still not up off cooldown, so only having the EW to try to jump in. And also his ult is actually off cooldown too from the previous gank that happened bot side on the side of TPR.
Yep. Yeah, and TPR are going to be roaming up. They're going to do the lane swap, go for this Rift Herald. Try to take that away. That'll help them expand their goal.
They don't even know it's there. They're like, where is it?
They pulled it out to a pretty ridiculous spot. That is such a weird thing about Rift Herald, is it'll really just follow you anywhere on the map. The sad thing is, it's taken them so long to actually start this. The Keeper's Verdict not going to send anybody away. I mean, yeah, they can still do it. And a nice charm, actually, from 15 Virgin, going to be stopping up that Anivia ult. She's going to be going into the egg super quick. Spoderon gets a stun into the wall, but it's not going to be getting anything done. They do lose bot tower in this, but they're definitely going to be finishing off that Rift Herald. I think it reset, though, which is a little misfortunate.
Yeah, unfortunately, they didn't try to finish it before going for that fight, and they just kind of left it to reset. So they're going to lose bot tower for free. It'll be interesting to see if they go up to the top right away and just try to rotate the bot lane since Amp is going to be going up there, and maybe just go for that tower right away.
Right.
Or if they'll just hold. Actually, no, I guess they did get their bot tower. That's right. I forgot that TPR already got bot tower, so. I guess it is an even trade. No, they're even, but so that actually goes in TPR's favor, getting the Rift Herald regardless of it resetting. Ooh, nice engage.
This is a huge engage. They lost the Braum. They're going to lose Awu probably as he's going to get ran down. The flash out. Don't know why he turned around there. That might be the kill for him, but the fleet footwork with the movement speed. Now Sion teleporting up as well. Just threatening. Going to cancel it.
Yeah, not the best of spots to really TP to unless they like really overextend for that kill. Unfortunate for Braum, I believe he tried to get the shield off for the Feather recall, but ended up being still in a spot of stasis, so was not able to do that until after it had already passed.
Yeah. Awu is getting threatened by Spoda here, but here comes the Jack. Not going to be able to land the stun as he tried to jump through that steadfast present.
Yeah, it was interesting that he didn't just try to run him down there instead of jumping. I feel like he should have still had the move speed advantage.
Oh, yeah, he had a move speed advantage. He was already on top of her. I don't know why he didn't just stun her. Either way, they wouldn't have been able to find a kill. They don't have that kind of damage to get through a Sunfire Poppy quite yet. But
it is Jax.
Not with the blast gun right there. And he went Cinder Hulk. She would have made it to the last gun in time. But a really nice cast there onto Sonic. He's going to get pushed straight in, trying to flash away. A really good flash though from Bliss to stop the ultimate. And now he's going to be falling down. We'll see if he can get anything done with this Glacial Augment. Just running Bliss down. Is he able to get another smack or two off? Not quite. Now a TP as well. Going to be canceled by Anivia.
That's kind of an interesting teleport. I'm not sure what happened there, because TPR was not looking by any means to try to go top, so it was kind of a interesting teleport. But I mean, I guess it was canceled, so the cooldown is halfway refunded. But now TPR are looking to dive this bot lane.
Yeah, they've got 4 up here. They're cutting them off, but a really good engage from Nezumi. Going to be catching them all up, but another jump in with a 2-man stun. They just get destroyed. Yeah, now Spoder has TP'd up. They're trying to get a flank off, but Awu's just focusing down the tower. He's going to get away with the 90 caliber net for the time being. But
they have Rift Herald up here, so unless this Gragas actually sees him summoning it, he can still, like...
Yeah, he can try and dash in and get his ult. Oh, he doesn't have his ult. If he had his ult up, he could have stopped that. But it's going to be Rift Herald going down, and Anivia in the mid lane, trying to take that tower. It's getting pretty low, so they're going to trade that for the time being, but definitely needs to back and respond to this Rift Herald so that they don't lose more.
Yeah, it was really unfortunate for Nezumi. He was trying to just get that little knock up and then try to get out, but he actually almost set up the Jax for that double stun there. Because he recalled back to the Xayah, and then he jumped to the Rakan, getting the double stun off, being in range of both of them.
Yep.
And then just getting the double kill and instantly bursting them down with the Braum and the Ahri.
Yeah. And it was, like you were saying, it was a really good attempt. I feel like he should have just maybe forfeited his life because Xayah wasn't going to be able to get out on her own, even with that kind of engage from the Rakan to stall them. So in the end, looked pretty fancy, but they still lost the better side of it. Dragon is up. Again, it's just a win, Drake. Just in quotations, could be a pretty big deal, but no team looking to just team fight over it quite yet.
Yeah, it seems like both teams kind of just being like whatever about it, while Amp is clearing vision. They seem like they're kind of interested in it. I'll be interested to see if they do decide to go for it, but it doesn't at the moment seem like TPR cares too much, but they are starting to rotate down now.
Yep.
So I guess they do kind of want a team fight over this. Maybe it could just be more of an advantage type thing since they're ahead. They want to fight.
Yeah, Nezumi's trying to engage onto Ahri, going to force her to use her ult, but now he's in a little bit of a rough spot. Spoderwan overstepping his boundaries. We'll see if Sonic can find his way in. That's a really nice ultimate onto the Poppy as a Carcion is getting pretty low from the Ahri. The flash out from the Poppy and a really nice ultimate from the Braum. They're slowing everybody up. Nezumi has no way out and a little bit of a late keeper's verdict. Going to disengage the tanks as Samuel's burning low, but he's not going to fall down yet. And this is going to give a lot of power over to TPR as they look to push up onto the mid lane tower, but Anivia's wave clear is king.
Yeah, it was really unfortunate on the side of Anivia there. 15 doing a really good job at zoning her that entire fight. He actually landed a charm on the backside of that fight. while they were fighting the bot lane versus bot lane and jungle.
Yeah, and oh my god, 15 finding more damage, already putting Anivia into the egg. Bliss gonna see if he can try and save anything here with the body slam to disengage, but I think Caitlyn might have the kill pressure with the ultimate. It's coming through, Spoder can't disengage, and now Bliss is on the run trying to get away from 15 as she's running forward. They're not gonna get the kill quite yet, but they do have that Windrake now.
Yeah, they did get that Windrake, and looks like they are just gonna go for this mid tower here. He is obviously feeling very confident on this Caitlyn right now. They are just, like, he's basically 1v3 in amp in that little small corridor.
Yeah.
He's not carrying that he's by himself.
Yeah, the nice
Clearly,
thing...
obviously showing that he is improved by a margin.
Yeah, and comfortable on the Caitlyn, too, because, again, we've traditionally only really seen him on doing super well on the Caitlyn. And not the Caitlyn, sorry, the Kai'Sa and the Twitch, but he's positioning very well this game, actually. Always max range, and I think the Caitlyn actually allows him to have his very just upfront aggressive style, but as a Caitlyn, upfront is still kind of behind your tanks because of how much range you have, so...
Yeah. And even if she's not up front, it's like the range of her abilities versus the range of her tank's abilities. Even if she was in front of the tanks, the jump from the Jax, the ult from the Scion, they still can easily jump in front of her should they decide to go on the Caitlyn and just restart the fight, or even start the fight on them.
Yep.
And they don't really have any way of picking off the Caitlyn other than the Mizumi ult, should they actually land it.
Interesting TP from the Braum. I'm not really sure what his game plan here is using that. Maybe just trying to get the rotation of spells done. Baron has spawned. We are at that 20-minute mark. We'll see if any team goes for something super early. Probably won't. Jax getting pretty darn close to his Triforce. He's going to be, I think, at all three components here pretty soon. Finishing up that phage and getting some more daggers. So,
and actually, that TP, while being somewhat worthless, it actually did still prove to be better for him, because he actually did just walk straight into that red side and get vision down. They did clear out the pink that was there, but he does still have a ward behind the red buff there, so they will at least have vision of that. And looks like they did just go for vision around the Baron pit, as they're going to go back in there to try to clear some more.
Yeah, Awu now looking like he's about to finish up his rapid fire cannon. There it is. That is going to help him. He's about half an item up on Gummy right now.
And if he thought Caitlyn was cancer without rapid fire.
Right. Imagine her with even more range.
Range.
Imagine if rapid fire always gave you extra range and it wasn't just like an every now and then thing.
I mean, it basically does with how short it is on cooldown. Like, you know, like how it is with Jhin. Like, that's insane.
Yeah. Well, the nice thing about Jhin is he's moved so much because of his movement speed that like it refreshes that much faster. And rapid fire actually does do a 20% reduction on the timer, right? So it actually does come up 20% quicker, I do believe. 25%, my bad. So it does come up faster than if you just had a Shiv. That's why you would typically see a Shiv and a rapid fire, because it would give you the Shiv proc is better than rapid fire on its own typically, but the rapid fire lets you get it more often. That's why that used to be such a strong combo. They've since nerfed Shiv, so that's why we don't see it anymore. But interesting enough, Fleet Footwork is actually considered to be that passive. So it actually lets you get Fleet Footwork that much faster as well.
Yeah. Which, honestly, while not too broken, is still pretty ridiculous for an AD carry.
Yeah.
Especially by the likes of Caitlyn. As gets the red buff. He must have cleared that ward out too. I believe that's what he did as he backed on the side of Gragas. As he went back to go purchase a Spectres. Looking at the items, Amp is clearly behind. Well, not too bad. Most of them generally only have 1 to 1.5. Some people on the side of TPR have 2.
Yeah, and I mean, as a whole, it's only 3.6k down, right? And most of that is actually kind of in the jungle area. Jungle and 80 carry side. Spotter one, going to be taking a lot of damage. Should be out just fine. Only getting about half health there, but...
Yeah, Jack's finishing that Triforce now. He actually did just come back from base to go buy that, so he's going to be very, very strong. Strong jungler.
Yeah, finally at his kind of big first spike. That's going to be a pretty good for him. Next up will be presumably the Titanic Hydra. It's a very nice item on Jax. Typically think, oh, Jax, I want all sorts of damage. I want to just maximize damage per hit. But the nice thing about Jax is he gets so much damage off of his W and his every third hit passive from his ult. That's actually where most of his damage comes from. So the reason why, especially last Worlds, I believe it was, we started seeing Titanic Hydra Jacks is because it gives you that auto attack reset, and your W's a reset as well. So you jump in and you do 3 hits like that, and you pretty much half health people, and they're just gonna straight up start this Baron right now.
Yeah, as they do, finally somebody sees the pink behind the Baron, which most teams seem to forget exists.
Yeah, there was a TP from Spoder. He's looking to get a Keeper's Verdict. He's going to send the Braum out of here and actually managed to find a nice stun onto the Caitlyn as well. He's going to flash out. Nezumi not going to be able to find her until just now as Bliss gets in with the explosive cast, but it's not going to help him out too much. And a huge ultimate from the Braum. They're trying to finish this up, but now the ultimate from Anivia in the choke point. It is just shredding through TPR. That's going to be 2 down. Let's make it 3 down as Sonic falls. And now 15 into the backside, trying to finish people off, but he can't get anything. Everybody except for 15 on the side of TPR is dead. That was not a Baron that they should have gone for.
Yeah, it was a very interesting play. Somehow Caitlyn got left alone. I don't know like where she was coming from. She was coming from base, but she was just like on the side that Amp was coming from and just got left to get collapsed on and had to blow both summoners and her net to try to get out. Still getting caught as Bliss basically hard chased her.
Yeah, just kiting in completely the wrong direction. They're on this Baron trying to get it. 15 doesn't have flash, so he's going to try and see if he can get anything done. Not going to get it. Nope. Bliss does manage to find the smite this time. Feels good for him. That's going to be a pretty decent comeback for Amp. A little bit of a gold lead and the Baron as well. That's going to be exactly what they were hoping for.
Yeah, unfortunately for Ari, not being the type of champion that can really steal the Baron, his ball, while it does do a lot of damage, not that much damage compared to a smite.
Right, really his only chance would have been to find a kill onto Bliss, and even then, probably not going to be able to steal it.
And on top of that, too, she does only have Ludens right now, so she is actually an item and a half behind Anivia somehow. I'm not sure how that happened.
Yeah, Dragon was just taken by TPR. We might see another fight breaking out. Said TP coming in from Anivia. They're doing a good amount of damage here, but they're just going to end up disengaging. They got the objective, no need to sit around. And this is going to be a pretty scary late game possibility for TPR, right? They are down now. There's a Baron. Amp are going to get even more off of this, presumably, but come 35 minutes, Elders
like they're only down 700 gold.
Right, that's why I said it right now. Amp is about to get more, right? They got a tower, they've got Baron. It looks like they're okay right now. It's definitely going to balloon for Amp right now, right? They've got sidely control. There's a lot of turrets up for them to take. So they're going to be up probably about 2k maybe by the end of this Baron, assuming they do it correctly. But
yeah, which as they're going for top now, which definitely seems like the better choice since they definitely don't have the best of sieging comps right now. It's more of a anti-siege comp is what they have.
Yeah, the Anivia pick doing a lot for stopping that kind of wave clear. And TPR pretty much just have to give up this top tower, even with the Caitlyn traps. They're not going to be able to do a whole lot to stop this, but looks like they might try. Some TPs are coming in from Sonic. Abs, Keeper Verdict's going to send Caitlyn away. And while the tower hasn't been taken yet, it is down to half health, and now Prism.
Looks like Amp is still playing scared of TPR.
I think they're just trying to make it look easy, as Nezumi is going to go in with a huge ult, and there already goes the Jax. He's burning down on Anivia with her ultimate again. Just so much zone control, always half health. They aren't able to find any kills other than Nezumi for the time being. A triple kill for the Anivia right now. Akarsion having a much better game. This time he gets another stun. It's going to end up being a quadra kill. Can he make it a pentakill? The stun onto the Ari. How much is he going to get? And a pentakill for Akarsion!
Wow. And that is the power of the Anivia Poppy.
Yeah, it's...
Putting up the wall, getting stuns off like crazy, and then also the zone control of just her ult is an insane amount of damage. Definitely going to have to rethink who they're focusing. While it is hard to get on Anivia, I honestly almost feel like it's probably better if they just kill her first.
I mean, if they can, she's got the Seraph, she's got her passive, right? It's very hard to actually kill her. And like I was saying, it was only about 1,000 gold. It just ballooned up almost to a 6,000 gold lead.
And Poppy Spirit Visage.
Yeah, Adaptive Helm is so much better than Spirit Visage here. Poppy has almost no healing, so from Grass, Spirit Visage is just practically worthless on her compared to what an Adaptive Helm will give her.
Yeah, also the reason why Adaptive Helm is good here is just because the consistent amount of damage that comes out through RA, she's just going to be consistently blocking it.
All of her spells are multi-hit besides Charm, which means Adaptive Helm is just a flat 15% damage reduction from RA, which is ridiculously broken. on top of what the MR gives. So
Yeah, and
Death Profound
then
was the
and
perfect
it
choice.
does it count towards Prism kind of? Or not really.
Yeah, if he keeps proccing his W and his ult, those are magic damage. So as long as he's proccing it consistently enough, but
Yeah.
that's not the main focus here. It's mostly for the RA, but this is definitely really good for Amp. They've got a hell of a lead. There's no crazy,
Oh no.
oh my god, 15, what are you doing over here, bud? He's going to have to execute himself, but I'm not sure why he would ever be up that far to the point where he has to execute. And they are giving him a jolly old chase, and he should be out just fine.
Poppy's trying to recall, but
Yeah, they got a little bit greedy for that, which actually gave TPR a really big advantage being able to shove out mid. So while there is a 40-second death time for Ari, it's not going to be the worst because they got such a good push on mid. There's not a whole lot for Amp to get in the next 30 seconds, maybe up to the tower, but beyond that, Ari is probably going to be back shortly after.
yeah. And that's assuming Amp actually decides to group, as Gragas, for whatever reason, seems like he wants to go clear his jungle instead of group, while the rest of Amp just seem like they're kind of waddling about.
Bliss has traditionally
doing
been
much.
a farm-heavy tank jungler, so I think he's at this point where he's just like, oh my god, I don't have 8 CS a minute. I've got to catch them farm. That's what I imagine is going on right now.
He's like those junglers, like you see like the old Sky Williams memes. Ace is the team and says Race looks really good right now. I don't know if you ever saw those videos, 5 reasons your jungler hates you.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Uh,
This is definitely an interesting game. I think Amp are really just playing the wait for TPR to mess up game. And TPR are definitely doing it right now. They've won the first 2 games, and they're playing a little bit differently this time. They've had really good early control, but have been taking some questionable fights, specifically around, inside the jungle where Anivia's ult is just destroying them all, and they're not really respecting the zone control that can come out of this pick.
yeah, and actually looking back on it too, like not only has the ult been giving a lot of zone control, also his wall placements have been very good, allowing both not only Nezumi to zone off the rest of TPR, but also the Poppy. Like she's been getting a lot of really good stuns off and basically setting Amp up to just kind of shred through. As we have another pause, and again without an explanation here as to what's going on. I'm not too sure why this keeps happening.
Yeah, I don't know either.
As this time it does look like it was Prism again that decided to call the pause.
I'm going to assume ping spikes, but it's hard to say.
I understand if it is, but it's like, if that's what's like kind of going on, it's like, eh.
I guess Blue's doing something? That's weird.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
That's not normal.
I believe that's not a legal pause. Yeah, I mean, well, I guess I'm just used to like, like every other team that plays in this league, when a pause happens, like they always say why it happens, but 3 times, what was that, in game 2 or game 1? Like there was just like a random pause and an immediate R right after. Like,
Right, it's just pause.
Pause.
R.
Okay, we're ready.
Well,
Pause,
why
okay,
did you
we're ready.
pause then?
That's I guess why I'm more like wondering what are these pauses about, because it just makes no sense.
Do you accidentally have a pause macro set on your mouse that you clicked? Right?
Yeah, so you hit enter and then macro enter again.
Yeah.
Like that's I guess what irritates me more. There's no explanations, and then it's just immediate R's right after. At least this time there was an explanation. But even still, it's like kind of like, is it a relevant explanation? Who knows?
Oh man.
Oh, it does say 10. I thought my watch said 10-2. I was like, wait, what do you mean? It's not October 2nd, it's the 21st. Yeah, well, it looks like both teams are ready again. So, hopefully the game should get started soon. Yeah, this set is very good. Even though it's still a 2-0 right now, I mean, the games have still been very good to watch.
Yeah.
It's definitely not like Afrika where you watch them 2-0 Afrika, and even in game 3 they basically ran it down. Like like at least this time they're losing with a fight in their hearts. They're not just like, we're just gonna hand the game over and here have another kill in this lane. Here's another kill in this lane. Like,
Yeah.
at least
Sonic
now
is walking up in a little bit of trouble. He's going to get engaged on, trying to use his stone plate to disengage. Forced to flash out of the Anivia ult.
Really nice instant stone plate there. You don't see that a lot from most players. There's always that slight delay that gets them that little bit of extra damage enough to kill them, and then the stone plate coming in too late.
Yep, and it is going to be the 4th dragon of the game going over to Amp. TPR trying to answer by shoving it down to mid, but they're about to get pretty heavily flanked. Not too much engage power from the Amp side, but we'll see what they can manage to do with this Poppy and the Anivia. Spoder's going to find his way in, and oh my god, a great engage from Nezumi, as now Sonic Abs is in. He doesn't have the stone plate. He used it earlier. He's getting pretty low. The Blade Caller is going to root them up, but a huge knockup going to land onto Bliss. They're getting pretty low. They need to find their way onto a Carcion, though. Sonic's still alive. They aren't able to find any kills, as Bliss going to miss the body slam flash. And Awu, untouched for most of this fight, barely dodges away from that Q. And again, Anivia just doing so much work with that ult. Gonna find a kill on to the oh my god, the Scion. He goes down. Next up is Awu's. He got slowed to hell. That's gonna be only 2 members alive for TPR. They just have no way of finding their way onto a Carcion right now, and it is definitely gonna be go time for Amp. Baron is up again, but they're not gonna go for it quite yet.
Yeah, I think most of the members are too low, and with Gragas backing already, I don't believe they decided to go for the Baron. So again, hey look, more farm. Gragas going to farm as Nezumi and the rest of crew. I'm not sure if they're deciding to go for Baron or if they're just going to get vision on Baron, but it looks like they are at least walking towards it.
I think they're at the point where they can really just force it down because of how far ahead they are. And the Anivia is very good at stopping TPR from trying to answer, not only with just her ult, but the wall is going to make it literally impossible for them to get over as well. So they can really just walk up there and try and force it down as fast as possible, especially because TPR have to deal with these waves.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely I think Amp did much better at drafting this time. As I said before, I did still technically have Amp to win at least this game. I feel, especially now after seeing it, I feel like they have the better, almost like kind of engaged but also disengaged, re-engage.
Yeah, oh my god, that engage from the Rakan into the explosive cast. There is no chance for Awu in the wall. Everyone's still going to manage to get over it with the blast cone, but now Gummy is on the wrong side, but Nezumi with another great knockup going to be doing work. Sputteron finds his way in. Now they're chasing onto Sonic, but they don't need to chase. They can go straight towards this Baron. This Prism is on the other side. He's going to see if he can maybe try and find his way in and steal again.
They actually did see him get over there.
They just saw him. He is on a ward right now. He walked a little bit deep into this jungle, and they're going to be running straight after him rather than going for that Baron. He knows he's in it deep right now, trying to dodge away with that counter-strike. Is he able to get out? Nice leaf strike over on to the Rakan. The blast cone gets him over the wall, but it's not going to help. He goes down. Now Sonic trying to clear out vision.
Really nice wall to block the blast cone, not allowing him to get in that position so he could jump over the wall.
Yep, and this should be 2 times the charm. Baron for Amp. I don't think that 15 can steal it this time. He couldn't last time. Why would this be any different? It's going to be a Baron for Amp. 35 minutes in. Maybe this will be the one to close up the game. We have yet to see.
Yeah, unfortunately, and again, being Ari, I just don't believe that she just has that type of burst to really steal an objective unless they miss Smite and she gets the Q off. That'd be the only way I'd ever really see an Ari stealing this Baron, so unfortunately, not really having any other champions on the side of TPR to allow them to steal other than the Jax. But we'll have to see what Amp does with this Baron. But also, again, going back to what I was talking about the teams, I almost feel like Amp has the better disengage, engage, re-engage type comp, whereas like you see Amp or TPR, theirs is just engage. Like there is no real re-engage. They engage and then that's kind of it, and they have to wait for cooldowns again. Whereas on the side of Amp, you have the Gragas Body Slam, you have the Nezumi W. Even if they use all their ultimates, they still have re-engages, and then on top of that, the Anivia walls and stuns. Like, just the amount of zone control that she has. Finally getting to that point, too, and actually being max level at 18, her wall pretty much blocks off an entire lane if she so chooses to.
Yeah, and I mean, look at his build, right? He's got 3 items that are giving health. He's almost at 3,000 health on this Anivia, which means even if you find your way onto him, he's just about as tanky health-wise as Spoderwan is here. And he's got the Ceres to boot, meaning even if you do damage to him, he's got a huge mana shield. It's almost impossible to kill this Anivia once, let alone the second time after she goes into her passive. So
he's almost like Battleship Anivia.
Right, it's going to be very hard. Oh my god, Samuel going to get hit by that Steadfast Presence. No escape for him. They're trying to siege up on this. The Caitlyn Trap's going to make it a little bit difficult, but he doesn't have a whole lot of damage quite yet. They're sieging up on to this inhib. So they are going forward, seeing how much they can get. Lots of damage coming out onto Spoder.
As they go for the top inhib, looks like they don't feel too comfortable with the wave that they have, so they're going to bring top down here. Just go for the second inhib. Possibly see a fight break out after this. I would assume that Amp decided to go for something after this next inhib.
Yeah, and it looks like a pretty big engage onto Awu. He's going to get burst down so quick. Didn't respect that Rakan. And now Sion trying to get something done with that Decimating Smash, but this Stone Plate not going to be enough to save him. Forced to flash away as 15 is going to get engaged on charge into the wall. It's not going to find the stun, though. Sonic, he's going to go down. Now TPR, they need to try and make some kind of play. Here comes 15 getting in. Is he able to find the kill onto Zumi? No, he's not, but Samuel with the ultimate. Going to knock them up, slow him down. Now Bliss finds his way onto 15. He's getting really low, but not going to fall down quite yet. Nice flash away from that heroic charge. Oh my god, in the backside of this fight is Prism, but he's going to fall down. So many low health bars on the side of Amp, but they're just going to keep going with this Baron. And they are going to start taking this tower. They're going to try and end the game. 4 people dead. Braum, you can't do this. It's going to be Amp trying to get back into the series. Now it's going to be a 1-2 in TPR's favor.
Yeah, unfortunately, being on the side of Amp, I feel like they just had too much HP on the side of TPR to get through. Their only real carry being Caitlyn, at least, that could shred that HP. While 15 in the start was bursting down most champions. Once they start getting their items, he just does not do enough damage to really get through that HP. Jax then also being zoned off by the Gragas and the Poppy towards the end of the stages of the game, and then not being able to get him. He was probably the only other person that would have been able to get through that HP.
Yeah, especially because 15 in most of the set on these assassins has been playing the head-on go at you style, where assassins typically kind of thrive in a style where you are flanking from the side, but into an Anivia who just loves it when you just charge at her because she's going to put a wall behind you. That ultimate takes up half of the lane, if not more.
He still did the most damage in the game. That's crazy. 15.
Yeah. I mean, he's got a lot of tanks to go through. I was surprised that Akarsian didn't do a whole lot, but he just zoned so much with his ult. And yeah, I feel like Anivia MVP here. If not, it's a close second for Nezumi because he had a lot of really good engages. But I think that Akarsian played that Anivia so well and just really helped the team out.
Yeah, I think Akarsian did really well. His walls and team fights were just an annoyance for TPR to deal with. And then the Poppy re-engages and the follow-up by the rest of the Amp after those walls would cut off. And then even like in the choke points, putting that wall down, cutting off at least half of TPR. And then they basically were forced to either burn flashes or to somehow walk around them and then still get chunked as they walk through the Nivea ult as well. Really just doing a really good job at zoning TPR from really doing anything in any of these team fights.
Yep. Superb play there. And it's really good job from them. Still think TPR have a really good shot at this. They were actually in the lead there and just made one hell of a Baron throw, which is what kind of gave Amp the ability to get back in and start taking the game over. So I think TPR, they need to start banning a little bit differently. I think maybe get rid of the Rakan and the Anivia. Take red side for themselves so they can get more power picks at once. And we'll see how it goes as we start heading into Game 4 pretty soon. Just got to invite everybody.
I just figured I saw everybody else rouletting all, and so I roulette it all and won all my money.
Nice. That's how we do it.
Let's do it again. No! Feels bad. I lost them all. Another news, I just upped my high score in the basketball arcade machine. Oh, nice.
Woohoo!
Dude, those things are so fun. Those and skee ball. I love skee ball. Skee ball is so fun. There's actually a bar down here called Up Down, and it's like it's basically, I don't know if you've heard of Dave and Buster's.
Yes.
Yeah, it's basically a Dave and Buster's down here. Except I feel way better. They have like not only custom games, but then they also have like the standard arcade games, and then a bunch of like other standard stuff you'd see at like Chuck E. Cheese or other party places. It's really awesome.
TPR going to be picking red side. I feel like red side is
I have no control
probably a good
of
side.
ending the contest. The ending the contest is all about him.
What even was the
Me no have
contest?
control.
Oh, yeah. Amp won. All y'all thought TPR was going to win. Which means the one person that voted Amp just won a lot of money. Somebody's winning a lot of money today.
Yeah, volleyball's okay. My problem with volleyball is like while you can still get hurt playing basketball too, like my wrists are just always bad. And like I feel like I can play basketball much longer than I can play volleyball. I play volleyball like 3 or 4 rounds and my wrists are just on fire from like serving the ball or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Those things are like rocks.
Worth noting, TPR has